Even though I made a final prediction on my live stream a few hours before the fight, I did like a 6 hour live stream, streaming the prelims and the main card, and in between, I sat for like 30 minutes breaking down why I believe Crawford was going to beat Canelo and dominate him. But what did I say on my live stream? I said after the fight, you will never see me disrespect Canelo or slander him, and I will give him all the respect in the world after the fight if he loses. And here I am, beautiful people, much respect to the great and legendary and iconic 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed champion, the pride of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the great Saul Canelo Alvarez. Listen, much respect to the man. The man fought simply one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT. And he came up short, and there is absolutely no shame in that whatsoever, beautiful people. Listen, he simply ran upon one of the GOATs, Terence Crawford. Now, Canelo Alvarez deserves so much credit. The man, without him, this wouldn't have been possible. The way that he packed out the stadium, his walkout, his charisma, he fought his heart out. And listen, but Crawford came in like a man possessed. And I'm gonna post in the description my prediction, my part where I predicted the fight. And listen, much respect to Canelo Alvarez. I'll keep on saying it. Canelo actually, I wasn't really a massive fan of Canelo, especially after testing positive. And, he went through a phase where he lost me. Because the first fight I ever watched in boxing was Canelo versus Floyd, and I was hoping and praying that Canelo was going to get the job done. But, the moment this fight got announced, I posted a video, and I'm going to post it in the description. I said Terence Crawford will dominate Canelo. But then, a few days after, I found out that Canelo donated to the people of Gaza and spoke about the people of Gaza. And I posted a video a few days after my prediction. I was like, listen, I will probably not pick a winner on fight week, because after what Canelo did and came out and said, donating to the people of Gaza and speaking about the people of Gaza, it is impossible for me to ever root against the man and to ever wish harm against Canelo. But one of my friends actually told me, just because Canelo donates to the people of Gaza, that doesn't mean that you can't say that the man's gonna get his ass kicked. And I did say that, Crawford was gonna beat him, but what Canelo stands for outside of the ring is truly inspiring, and is truly deserves all the admiration and credit in the world. Listen, you see other people and other cowards like Floyd Mayweather, who he's siding with and who he's supporting, and look at someone like Canelo. Canelo got all the money in the world, all the admiration in the world, all the fame, all the accolades, but he still went out of his way. And not just that, not just stood with the people of Gaza, but also stood with his Mexican people. Declined a sponsorship deal from Elon Musk. Why? Is because he saw what's been happening to his people by ICE. ICE, they've been taking away the hardworking Mexicans from their families, in front of their families, arresting them. Just some disgusting stuff, really. And Canelo stood 10 toes down and stood with his people. And that is exactly, beautiful people, what makes Canelo, in my humble opinion, the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. Yes, him and Chavez, I've been to Mexico. Shout out to Mexico, the greatest country I've ever visited. And every single person who I asked in Mexico, who did they pick as their champion, Chavez or Canelo, they all said Chavez. And I get it, listen. Maybe Chavez is the greatest Mexican of all time, but I wasn't around when he was active. I never watched a full Chavez fight, so he might actually be better than Canelo. But as far as what my eyes have seen, Canelo's the GOAT in my eyes. Not just because of his style. Like I said, he's the greatest pressure fighter of all time. But more than that, it's about who Canelo is. The soul, the human, the individual, the spirit of Canelo. His bravery outside of the ring. Him and Mario Barrios are the only two champions in our times who stood with the people of Gaza, and this is what they will be remembered for. They will be remembered as the two champions with the biggest hearts and the biggest cojones stood against what's wrong and stood with what's right. And history will never forget Saul Canelo Alvarez and Mario Barrios. Listen, in these days, with all the sponsorships, with all the, elites telling you what to do, who to stand with, where to show your elite alliance with, Canelo said, I am not having none of that. I am standing with the people of Gaza, and not just that, I am donating $30 million. He said that in the Munguia fight week. He said, my heart goes out to all the people of Gaza, and after my fight, I will be donating $30 million to the people of Gaza. Now, a lot of you beautiful people told me that that's just PR. No way Canelo donated $30 million to Gaza. Listen, maybe that is true. But number one, simply because he spoke about the situation, and two, when you talk about someone like Canelo who's nearly a billionaire, if not a billionaire, and someone who buys like $3 million and $2 million watches on a regular basis, what makes you think that the man would pay $2 to $3 million for a watch, but not pay $20 or $30 million to save human lives? And that is where I stand when you talk about supporting Canelo Alvarez. Listen, he got dominated by Bud. He got outclassed. He got absolutely schooled. But so what? Just because Bud dominated him, that doesn't mean that you will see me come here and slander Canelo and say that he was overrated, he's a hype job, he's this, he's that. Even though a lot of his fans, I absolutely despise them. A lot of Canelo's fans are idol worshippers. On my live stream, when I said that I truly believe that Bud will dominate him, I saw the comments on the live stream. I saw like a few people telling me, you're a traitor, you switched up, you did this, you did that. You went against the man who's your color. What are you talking about? First of all, I'm Arab. Canelo is Latino and Bud is black. But you will never see me pick someone based on their color. Now, I might be biased and pick someone based on what they do outside of the ring, but you will never see me pick someone based on their color. That is absolutely ridiculous. And some of you really need to look in the mirror. Some of you idol worshippers. I saw the comments on the live stream. You sold out, you're a traitor. And actually I'm going to make another video about this. Someone said, the most disgusting thing I've ever read. He said, Canelo, our white Mexican king. Who says that? Who says that? I mean, yes, you can say Canelo, the king of boxing, the face of boxing, the GOAT. You can say whatever you want. But to go to this extent, I mean, you're basically telling me that your parents did a horrible job in raising you. Let me tell you. But for those who respect and admire Canelo for the same reasons that I respect and admire Canelo, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I love you and I respect you. And that is how things should go when you talk about standing and siding with your favorite fighter. When you talk about Canelo Alvarez, listen, Canelo Alvarez will forever be one of my favorite fighters. Forever. And if you go back to my old videos, the first few videos that I posted, I picked Bivol to beat Canelo. I actually said in that video that I believe that Golovkin won the first and second fight. But so what? That doesn't mean that I will lose respect for Canelo. I mean, listen, when you keep fighting the best, you're gonna fall short. And let's not act like they didn't try to rob Bud Crawford on the scorecards. But nonetheless, all the respect in the world goes to Canelo Alvarez, the man who will be remembered as the champion who stood with the people who are in need, the people of Gaza, all the champions. How many champions in boxing and in MMA? Countless. They are countless. And none of them dared to even speak about the people of Gaza except two people. Mario Barrios and Saul Canelo Alvarez, and both of them are Mexicans. What does that tell you? That tells you that the true Mexicans, not the Canelo fans, the racist Mexican fans, and the degenerate alcoholic fans, the true Mexicans with Mexican blood, with Mexican pride, who are like Canelo, who are humble and gracious and successful and admirable. I love you guys because you guys are the true representation of what a true Mexican is. Not all the degenerate idol worshippers. Let me tell you, beautiful people. So all I'm saying is this: Saul, we love you, we respect you, and we thank you for putting it all on the line and for risking your life. Daring to be great, fighting. I mean, listen, you simply fought one of the GOATs. There is absolutely no shame. And do I believe that David Benavidez would run Canelo over? Yes. But so what? I promise you, beautiful people, if David would have fought Canelo, David would have destroyed Canelo. And I love Canelo. Look, what more do you want? I'm making a full video showing my admiration and love for Canelo. But David Benavidez would have destroyed him. Would have absolutely annihilated Canelo. But, and that is why Canelo doesn't want to fight him. Not because, he has nothing to prove. Because he said, before he got offered the money versus Bud, he said, I will not fight Bud because I have nothing to gain. But he ended up fighting him. Why? Because of the money. But, getting back to my main point, much respect to one of the GOATs, to the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. Win, lose, or draw. I said this in my preview of the fight. I said, win, lose, or draw, Canelo will remain the GOAT of Mexican boxing. Why? It's not just because of what he did inside of the ring and what he does, but most importantly, for who he is outside of the ring. Canelo, salute, love you, champ. And listen, even though on the night it was Viva Omaha, Nebraska, Cabrones, but it is forever. When you talk about Canelo and the Mexican people, Viva Mexico, much love to the great Mexican people.